Hello friends, this is CA Karun Nagpal, and in this video we would be talking about the business valuation. Imagine a scenario where buyer and seller are sitting together and discussing a sale purchase of a particular thing. So the most important thing they would be wanted to know about is the price of that asset. Maybe if you talk about the mobile phone, you can easily assess its value by looking at the feature provided by the mobile phone or the camera capacity, the megapixel in it. So that is pretty easy. But valuing a business where the stake involved is millions or billions of rupee, so that is pretty difficult, and you need skill set to value, and that is very relevant also, because valuation, if done incorrectly, may lead to disaster. Here come the role of valuer in valuing the business, because valuation is set of procedure that valuer has to undergo to determine the value. So in my last video where I gave the overview of valuation, I have explained the valuation process. So in this video we will be talking about the various models, various approaches of valuation, whether it is McKinsey matrix and all. The general perception is that the valuation exercise is undertaking just for sale purchase, but that is not true. Valuation techniques are of great help in analyzing the value of the business other than the sale purchase, at the time of developing the strategy, at the time of developing the future plans and all. And also management, in case of big organization, they also wanted to know the value at different intervals of time. So before we take a deep dive into the ocean of valuation, you should know the valuation approaches. If you are not aware of the valuation approaches, do watch my earlier video. So in this video, we will start with the business valuation. So let us start, friends. Friends, we will talk about top-down and bottom-up approach of valuation. Then we will talk about the business environment analysis, wherein we will discuss the internal and external factors that may impact the business, the phases of the business environment. Then we will talk about the Michael Porter 5 forces, SWOT analysis, PEST analysis, GE McKinsey matrix, ADL strategic condition matrix, and then we will talk about the various sources of information which we can use to arrive at our valuation. Maybe the RBI, the SEBI website, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, or World Bank website, or some of the international bodies like SEC, Security Exchange Commission in US. So we will talk about the authentic source of information which we can use in our valuation. Let us now start with the top-down and bottom-up approach. First of all, we will have to analyze the macroeconomic factors such as the GDP, growth rate, inflation, interest rate, the exchange rate with other countries, the productivity within the state, and the power prices in case you want to set up some power intensive industry. So these economic indicators you will have to analyze. Then you have to analyze at which stage of the business cycle are you at analyzing, are you doing the analysis at. So here you can see the business cycle. We have the stages in the business cycle, so that will also impact your analysis. Then market sentiment. So currently we are sitting into COVID and the market sentiments are not that good, so you will have to take that into consideration. So once you are done with the analysis of economy, then you will analyze the industry structure, the competitive advantage, in case you want to set up something which is not prevalent in the market, so you may have the competitive advantage. For example, friends, you might have heard of Country Delight, which recently started its operation in delivery of dairy products. So earlier there were a couple of companies, big giant companies such as Mother Dairy and Amul, who were supplying the milk but were not delivering the milk products at the doorstep of the consumer. So they steadied the industry, they come up with their detailed analysis, and they thought that this would be coming up in India as well, as it was prevalent already in the global markets. So they started the top down approach, and they first analyzed the industry, and then they did the analysis of their business. Moving further, friends, then analysis of business and equity. That is the third stage, where you will analyze the financial position of the company, its profitability and cash flow. All the detailed analysis will be done at the last stage. The bottom approach stage is the vice versa of the top down. So first of all, in the bottom up approach, we will start with our own company. We will identify the financial position, ascertain the profitability, the cash flows, and then we will compare that with the industry, and then later on with the economy at large. So this was top down and bottom approach. Let's friends move further and start with the business environment. Then friends, we have business environment analysis. Before that, we should understand what is business environment. Business environment is actually the factors, whether inside or outside, that are responsible or that may have impact on our business and our success. The success of our organization is directly linked with these factors. These factors are classified as external or internal factors. Internal factors are our own principles and policies, business standards and guidelines, or the internal control which we have implemented, marketing and financial resources. External factors are more or less beyond the control of an organization. It may be political, economic factors, technological, legal, or competitors. In order to maintain the growth and success, so the organization need to ensure that these factors are in control, and they have to keep a continuous eye on the environmental changes. There may be threat from an outside, so in case an organization detect the threat at an early stage, this may help an organization to achieve the objective. Now, the business environment analysis is a tool to understand those factors which may impact the organization. The internal factors, we can identify the strength and weakness within the entity. External factors may be the opportunity and threat outside the organization, and the evaluation of these factors may help and align the business and may help in the decision making. Then business environment analysis is divided into phases. The first one is to identify, wherein we will gather all the relevant information regarding the factors that are affecting the business, the factors which may be responsible for the growth of the business, which may have threat, whether those are internal factors or external factors. The next step, once we have gathered all these information, we will scan to give a structure to the entire process, to build a rough sketch so that we can proceed with the next stage, which is to analyze. We will analyze all the information which we have gathered, and we will scrutinize those information using the tools we have, like SWOT analysis, test analysis. And after the analysis, we can, as a next phase, we can forecast based upon the information we have, the analysis we have done. We will forecast. This forecast will help us to formulate the strategy for future. So this forecast would be helpful in identifying the future changes, the change in technology trends which may happen in future. Once we have forecasted, then we will start implementing and we will do the observation. So observe is the next phase. So we will observe what is happening and how our forecast have worked. Then once we have observed, then we will do the assessment of all the factors which have contributed to the success or which have contributed to the threat or failure of our business or our decision. And this process is a continuous process. It helps us in mitigating all the short term challenges, and helps management to make and formulate the future decisions. Then friends, we have a business strategy analysis. Based upon the business environment analysis, we will build a sound strategy so that we always stay ahead of all our competitors, and we make a consistent growth for our organization. Then moving further friends, with Michael Porter 5 forces, it is a very simple but very powerful tool. This tool help us identify the strategy, help us identify the factors which may affect our profitability. And using this strategy, we can adjust those factors accordingly. We can take advantage of our strong position, and we can improve our weak position to avoid any wrong steps in future. The first force is competitive rivalry. This force determines the number and strength of our rivals. Where the rivalry is intense, a company may, by cutting the cost and by using the high impact marketing campaign, may attract our customers. Then the next one is the supplier power. So here it determines how easy it is for the supplier to increase the prices. In case there are fewer suppliers, they may influence us. So in case of higher number of suppliers, we may be in a strong position in that case, and we may switch to another supplier. Then next force is the buyer power. So where a company has only a few large customer, they may influence the company. In case the company has a number of small customers, so in that case they cannot collude and persuade the company. Then we have threat of substitution, where a company product can be easily replicated, customer can easily move to other vendors. Then in that case, company may lose its business. Then the next force is threat of new entry. So this threat will always be there, but in case our sector is capital intensive and we require huge effort and money to set up the business, so we will be at a lower risk of new entrants. Moving further friends to SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is something what we do in our day-to-day life for an organization. It is analysis of company strength and weakness within the organization, and opportunities and threat it may have from the external world. This analysis provides the management of the organization to evaluate the organization and make investment decisions. Friends, the strength may be its technological skills, its brand which it may have developed, its distribution network, the production quality, the scale of operations, the management of the organization, and the cost advantage it may have. The weakness may be absence of important skills which are required for running the business, weak branding, poor access to the distribution network, low consumer retention, unreliable product service, low scale of operation, and high cost structure. The opportunity may be changing customer taste. This may be favorable in certain circumstances. Liberalization of the geographical market. Organization may get open up to the outside world. Then technological advances, loosening of regulator. So there may be relaxation in the regulatory framework, lower taxes, and the distribution networks.
and threat may be from the outside world, which may be the change in the customer taste, which may be favorable, and the entity may not adapt to those changes. Closing of the geographical market, technological advances of by the competitors, increase in the regulations, high tax rate, new distribution network developed by the competitors, and the fear of hostile acquisition. Friends, this was all about SWOT analysis. This is pretty easy, and you may find one or two questions coming out from this topic.
Then, friends, moving further with the pest analysis, whether we say pest or pestel, it is again the analysis of macro environmental factors, which includes the political, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, environmental factors, the legal factors. So if we say political, so politicals, by political factors we mean the government policies, the political stability in the country. Economic factors are the economic growth, the GDP, the interest rate, the exchange rates, and the inflation rate. Social factors, if we talk about, are the belief which the population may have, the growth of the population, the distribution of age, the health consciousness, the career attitudes of the population, and technological factors, if we talk about, that may impact the organization. So the way of producing the goods of services, so advancement in the distribution network, advancement in the communicating and tracking the target markets, so techniques used to target the market. So nowadays, for the marketing, the client relationship management softwares, that is being extensively used by companies. Then environmental factors may include the scarcity of raw material, the pollution. So in Delhi, since it is one of the pollutest city, so industry, it is difficult to set up an industry in Delhi or adjoining areas. They may have to face number of challenges and additional clearances they may have to obtain. And then legal factors include the health and safety, the equal opportunity for all, the advertising standards which the organization have to adhere to, then the customer right and the laws prevailing within the countries. So friends, analysis of all these factors help the valuer to evaluate the company. Then friends, moving further with GE McKinsey matrix, this is not a business valuation model, rather it is a portfolio management model, and the same has been developed in 1970 when GE asked its consultant to develop this model. And this model, also known as 9-box matrix, if you look at the screen, so on x-axis we have the business unit strength, and on y-axis we have the industry attractiveness. It is a two-dimensional model, that is why it is called 9-box matrix. It helps to analyze and identify the new product line based upon the latest market trends and the customer interest, how and what segment to invest, and where to harvest or where to hold the investment. So some of the prerequisites of creating this matrix are the identifying the entire range of products or portfolios available with the business unit, and then identify the factors that make a specific market attractive, then evaluate the strategic business unit position in the market, thereafter calculate the business strength and market attractiveness, and based upon that we will identify the strategic business unit category within the high, medium or low range, whether we need to hold the investment, harvest, or we need to continue with the investment. Then friends, moving further with the Arthur D. Little ADL strategic condition matrix. This matrix has two main features: the competitive position and the industry maturity. The competitive position is driven by the sector or segment in which the business operates, and the product or services it markets. And the industry maturity is the industry life cycle, pretty similar to the product life cycle. The competitive position has five main categories. The first one is dominant. So dominant means there are no competitors like Microsoft Windows that is being globally used, and there are no major competitor for the Microsoft Windows. Then we have strong position, and here we have freedom in the industry to enjoy the powerful position. Then favorable, companies with a favorable position tend to have competitive strength in the segment. Then we have tenable, and this category companies are placed with the heavy competition. Then we have weak category. Weak category is where we have opportunity to change or improve our product line or our business because we may not be able to sustain. Then friends, using this analysis, we can do the valuation. The dark green portion denotes that we are in a dominant position and the valuation would be higher. Whereas in case the competitive position of a company is weak, so we will have to discount the valuation. So red portion denotes that company is in weaker position and valuation would obviously be lower in that case. Then friends, we have BCG matrix. This has also been developed in 1970 by the Boston Consulting Group. This matrix has divided into four quadrants, and on x-axis we have relative market share, y-axis market growth rate, and the four quadrants are the dog. First one is the dog, wherein we have the low growth and low market share, and the second quadrant is the question marks because we are sitting in a high growth rate and we have relatively less market share, so we are unsure that this question mark will get whether converted into stars or dog. And then we have stars, wherein we have high market share and high growth rate, and this will generate the return of income is higher than any other quadrant in this case. Then we have cash cows. So cash cows is low growth but high market share. So we have captured the market but the growth rate is pretty low. So cash cows is the income producing assets. So based upon this analysis, analyst has to decide which asset type he has to continue with and which asset type he has to dispose of. Like maybe dogs, we have a low market share and a low growth rate, so we may decide to get rid of these type of assets or these type of investment. So in the examination, maybe question may come on cash cows, maybe stars are with like market growth rate or market share, like a combination they will make and they will put any question. So I would suggest you to go through this video. Will not be definitely sufficient. You should go with the theory in detail and understand all these models. Then friends, before we end this video, let me quickly talk about the important sources of information which we can rely for our valuation. So the important sources are the primary source of our information is the management of an organization. So in case we are doing the valuation for the issue of shares or issue of convertible debenture or merger, in case of merger or acquisition, so management would be able to provide us the most authentic information. In case of insolvency, so IRP or RP would be the person we can seek the information from. And we can also explore the internet because internet has become nowadays the key source of information, and we can check the records of the company from MCA website, we can visit RBI website, we can visit the stock exchange website, BSE or NXC for the all these details, because there are number of compliances which listed company have to do to SEBI, and there are other website, income tax or MCA. So in case the IRP has the access to the company affairs, so he would be able to provide you the information in case of ongoing insolvency cases. Otherwise, we can explore the information to the extent possible from internet. In case of global organization, we have a World Bank website, International Monetary Fund, and for the listed company in US, we have the SEC. We can get the 10Q, 10K reports, and the other trusted information like rating agencies, the Bloomberg website. So these are the information we can rely upon for doing our evaluation. And we can also use the annual report which have been published by the organization, by the company in the past, so that can also become the authentic source. The MD&A issued by those MD&A is not required to be submitted to the regulator, but MD&A is something which is presented to the investors of the company. So these information we can use and we can rely upon for doing the valuation. Obviously, we would have to corroborate all these information with the facts and figures we have. And in case we need any further information, we can anyway approach to the management seeking for the further details. Friends, that's all we have in this video. In our next video, we would be talking about equity valuation models. Till then, stay tuned and thank you for watching my videos.